Look at me, I'm as helpless as a kitten up a tree. And I feel like I'm clinging to a cloud I can't understand. I get misty just holding your hand. Walk my way. All right, so, hey guys, how you doing? Willie Mayette, creator of Jazz Edge. Welcome to lesson 23 from Jazz Piano Daily. Today, we're going to talk about how to accompany yourself while singing jazz. Now, I am not a jazz singer, all right? But, you know, it doesn't matter if you can sing or not. You can kind of just mouth the lyrics like I just did right there. So let's jump into how this works. All right, so the first thing is, I don't know if you remember a couple of lessons back, I was talking about how with the chord shells, you could also add in your rootless chords in the right hand. Now, before I move on with this, you have to make sure that you understand that we are adding on techniques, right? So sometimes when we're adding on techniques, it may take you more than a day to practice these different techniques, and that's absolutely okay. But let's talk about what's going on here. In the left hand, this is my shells, okay? I'm doing shells in the left hand, right? And that's either going to be the root 3 or the root 7. In the right hand, this is my rootless chords. And in the rootless chord can be any of the, you know, A or B forms, right? Now, obviously, when I play E flat major 7, this one makes most sense, right? I don't want to come up here because then I got a bunch of space in between here. You can see all that space right here. Whereas this, you can see the chord is kind of filled out a little bit more. I could also do that as well, right? Rootless chord and just a root there. Or I could play the shell down there and do that. Look at me, right? It's kind of a nice sound down there, right? So anyway, just decided to do this. The B flat minor 7, same thing. Root 7, so the left hand here is exactly what we did yesterday, right? So the left hand is no different. All we're doing is in the right hand, rather than playing the melody, we're doing the rootless chords. Here's the B flat minor, rootless chord voicing, E flat 7, just move that one note down, and then down to A flat major 7. There's your rootless chord voicing. Again, if you don't remember these rootless chord voicings, be sure to go back to the first 3 lessons in which I talk about these jazz major, minor, and dominant 7th chords. Okay. All right. So now let's take a look at the whole thing. So it's look at me. Right? I'm as helpless as a kitten up a tree. A flat major. Here's A flat minor. There's a rootless chord, root 7 in the left hand, D flat 7, just moving this down, and then back down to E flat major. Don't understand, C minor, I get misty, F minor. See how I came down here, whereas if I was up here, right, it would have been, if I did the root 3 before, like, you know how I said that I went down the root 7? Well, I came down the root 7 because I can get that nice rootless chord voicing right there. B flat 7, G minor 7, C7, F minor 7, B flat 7. Remember, when I'm just moving one note like this, be sure to play all of the notes again, right? All right, so let's just try going through and playing all of this together. Let me make this just a little bit smaller, okay, so you can see all this. Now, one thing you'll notice is I'm going to comp chords, right? And I have talked about that before. We talked about that. I'm just trying to see exactly where this was. Number 12. All right, so take a look at number 12 for comping. So look at me. I'm as helpless as a kitten up a tree. And I feel like I'm sitting on a cloud. I can't understand. I get misty just holding your hand. Walk my way. Ba ba bum bum ba da 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 dum. Ba 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 bum bum ba da da. Bum 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 ba da bum bum ba da bum bum bum. All right, so you can hear that I'm singing over these chords, and I'm adding some rhythm to the chords. When you're just getting started, I would just play them straight. So look at me. I'm as helpless as a kitten up a tree. And if you want, just kind of do some easy little arpeggios there of your chord. see I can kind of arpeggiate the chord and get a little bit of motion in there. Don't worry, we'll talk about adding in some fills and stuff like that as we go. But this kind of gives you the general idea of how this is done. And how it's done is you utilize the chord shells in the left hand, utilize the rootless chords in the right hand. Now again though, you got to really know the chords, right? Because if you don't know the shell, you don't know the rootless chord, it's going to be challenging. You might say to yourself, wait a second, Willie, there's a lot of chords here that I need to learn. You know what? I'm not going to lie to you. You're absolutely right. It's just like doing math, right? I mean, there's a lot to learn. But stick with just one song for right now. Just do it over Misty. Because what happens is, as you get down these chords here, right? You get down all of these chords, well, guess what? That's going to start to snowball. You're going to start to memorize those chords more and more, and it's not going to feel like such an overwhelming task. Don't start crunching the numbers saying, well, I got, a minor chord, I got 2 different inversions, 12 keys, there's, 24 different chords right there, then I do the It's like, don't worry about that kind of stuff. You will learn the chords over time, but the best way of doing it is by applying it to actual music, all right? So let's go through this one more time just to make sure you have it. I'm just going to play it and be quiet, and you can grab those notes. A flat major, A flat minor, D flat 7, E flat major, C minor, F minor, B flat 7, G minor, C7, F minor, B flat 7, and then back to E flat major. If you just have to pause the video and look at what I'm doing visually on the keyboard, fine, no worries, right? Don't worry about if you can't read the music, okay? It's absolutely fine. You can just watch the virtual keyboard. All right, now, do me a favor. If you guys want to grab the sheet music here, you can go back to Jazz Piano Daily or just follow that card that just popped up on YouTube, right? So if you go back to Jazz Piano Daily, you can download a bunch of the music, and it would be a great favor if you can like the video, subscribe to the channel, and then turn on the notifications. Even if you don't want to subscribe, at least if you like the video, that's great. It lets others know that, there's some good material here for them to take a look at. All right, so thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate it. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up. In the next lesson, I'm going to be talking about how to create these magic bass lines from your shells, so you're definitely going to want to check that out. All right, I'll see you guys back at Jazz Piano Daily. Thanks for joining me today.